Hello everyone, this is Mark Weisinger, Senior Analyst at the Market Intelligence team here at Imix Group. I'm just going to be talking a bit today with this mini webinar about some cloud and cybersecurity opportunities at TRANSCOM, that is the U.S. Transportation Command. Please join us for the full webinar to hear some more cloud and cyber opportunities at some other DOD agencies. Today we'll be just talking a bit about TRANSCOM. So let's talk about TRANSCOM, which has one of the largest IT budgets, the largest COCOM IT budget, aside from Cybercom. It's a key agency that's making a move towards the cloud. Now, to fuel TRANSCOM's shift to the cloud, we're seeing some steadily rising funding coming through to the command. While not as sizable on the whole as DLA or DISA, $468 million is nothing to sneeze at. It's the largest of the COCOMs, aside from Cybercom, as I mentioned. So things are looking pretty rosy over at Scott Air Force Base, where TRANSCOM is headquartered as far as funding goes. Now, unlike many of the combatant commands, TRANSCOM's IT budget top-line figures are still publicly available. And note that the budget is primarily funded from fees and services paid to TRANSCOM through the Transportation Working Capital Fund. So you're not going to see any overseas contingency fund fluctuation here, unlike some other COCOMs. This here is the total IT budget situation. Now, that big FY17 jump was due to a combination of an emphasis on cyber defense as well as increased funds available from the Transportation Working Capital Fund. So you can see that the budget situation is quite healthy for TRANSCOM. Now, here's a look at the TRANSCOM Program Executive Office. There's going to be a dotted line here over to the J6 Directorate, represented by TRANSCOM J6W Director Douglas Gray. There's some overlap between the J6 and PEO office, where Frank Tempia and Scott Borchers are wearing both J6 and acquisition hats. The Enterprise Program Engineering and Transition Office, headed by Scott Borchers, is the prime insertion point for infrastructure vendors, where Mr. Borchers manages roughly about $40 million in infrastructure spending. So think cloud. Vendors who have data center or storage or cloud virtualization, networking, and other infrastructure technologies will certainly want to get in touch with Mr. Borchers. Now, Frank Tempia over in the Acquisition Program and Technology Office will be a key point of entry for cybersecurity and big data technologies. Mr. Tempia does work closely with Mr. Borchers in terms of running the cybersecurity big data solutions on TRANSCOM's infrastructure. Now, the bulk of the IT systems and back-end applications live in the DPO and Systems and Services divisions. The co-located Air Mobility Command at Scott Air Force Base moved over some of their IT portfolio over to these two offices at TRANSCOM. This is where you'll want to reach out if you're currently doing business with Air Mobility Command in regards to some of their back-end systems. If you're not sure where your product may fit within TRANSCOM, I'd recommend reaching out to Mr. Gray at TRANSCOM J6 to get an idea of where your solution may fit in their enterprise. He'll be able to steer you to the right program or customer. And now, TRANSCOM has been making waves lately by issuing a sole source procurement for AWS Secret in December. AWS has been working on standing up their secret environment in response to the IC and DOD's demand for a specifically secret instance. TRANSCOM feels that that's pretty much in their wheelhouse. So we're seeing here that TRANSCOM is getting a bit entrenched with AWS. They've issued an unusual contract through DIUX, a small $2.4 million other transactional agreement to Reen Cloud, a Herndon-based company, for a pilot cloud migration of their logistical applications to the AWS secret environment. Soon we're going to see all 72 of TRANSCOM's application portfolio for their logistical programs making their way to AWS secret, so you better be prepared for that if you're looking to make inroads into TRANSCOM. Your solution will need to be AWS friendly. We're seeing TRANSCOM pursue cloud a bit more aggressively than other COCOMs and agencies in the DoD. They're really pushing to embrace the cloud, but unlike DLA, they're focused more on AWS as their platform rather than a more agnostic approach. as I mentioned before, please catch our full webinar for a bit more detail on TRANSCOM, as well as some of the other purple agencies that we did not discuss within this mini webinar. And feel free to connect with me, Mark Weisinger, on LinkedIn, or my colleague Stephanie Maloney for more market updates on what's going on in IT at various DOD entities.